Hello everyone. I try to keep as much organic material as possible inside this garden. Guinea pigs are part of that system. They're a hobby for me, but they also play a practical role. I feed them excess grass, reed leaves, and other green material from the garden. It's not a completely closed system. I still bring in feed from outside. But whenever I can, I cycle garden material back into the system. After the guinea pigs do their part, the bedding and manure move to the compost area. Today, I'm working on two stages at the same time. On one side, I'm harvesting finished compost. On the other, I'm building a new pile. This compost is about 2 to 3 months old. When I first built it, the temperature rose quickly. Within 3 to 4 days, it went above 60 degrees Celsius. And in some spots, it reached 70 degrees Celsius. That high temperature matters. During this phase, thermophilic bacteria become very active. Many harmful pathogens are reduced, and most weed seeds are neutralized. After a while, the temperature starts to drop. That's usually because the oxygen inside the pile gets used up. Microbial activity is intense at this stage, and oxygen is consumed quickly. When fresh air can't replace it fast enough, the temperature falls. So I turn the compost, not just to mix it, but to reintroduce oxygen. Once oxygen gets back in, the temperature rises again. I usually repeat this process 3 or 4 times until the pile no longer heats up after turning. If the material feels too dry, I add water. Moisture should be around 55 to 60%. It should feel damp in your hand, but not drip. When the pile stops reheating, it becomes stable. It no longer produces heat, it has an earthy smell, and the texture is more uniform. At that point, it's ready for worms. When building a new pile, I use both guinea pig bedding and chicken litter. Chicken manure is high in nitrogen. It usually drives the initial heat. Guinea pig manure, on the other hand, is higher in fiber and more balanced. It helps the compost process move in a steadier way. The system would still work without guinea pigs. I could compost the grass directly, but the guinea pigs act as a biological pre-processing step. The plant material passes through their digestive system. It comes out more broken down and more microbially active. That doesn't make them essential, but it does make the system more efficient and more consistent. In my last batch, I made a mistake. In a previous pile, I had added more shredded branches under the chicken bedding. Those medium-sized wood pieces created structure inside the pile. This time, I used less. The material was still workable, but the pile didn't heat up the way I expected. Compost isn't just about nitrogen and moisture. Structure matters too. Now I'm going to correct that by adding more shredded branches and turning the pile again. The goal isn't just to add carbon. It's to improve airflow and give the system what it needs. When the structure is right, microbial activity increases, heat rises again, and the compost becomes a higher quality feedstock for worms. From there, the cycle continues. Grass from the garden moves through the guinea pigs, into compost, then to worms, and eventually supports the chickens, before returning to the soil. It's not perfectly closed, but as much as possible, I try to keep the cycle turning within the garden.